What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel, Pitol in Motion. If you're new here, hello, welcome. My name is Ira and I do project management and lifestyle videos, so be sure to subscribe. And to my lovely subscribers coming back, welcome. All right, so let's get straight into it guys. I want to become a project manager, but where exactly do I start from? Now, if you've clicked on this video, you've probably asked yourself that a couple times, maybe even Googled it, looking for answers of like, where exactly do I start? When I started my project management career about 5 years ago, that was the one question on the top of my list. There's so much information out there on project management, from the different tools, methodologies, skills, best practices. But honestly, what information is good? What information is bad? Do you need a certification? How do you get in? What do employers actually look for? That is the information that just wasn't readily available to me. I had to just figure it out, but looking back and reflecting, there's definitely a good place for you to start. So in this video, I don't want you to waste time like I did. I don't want you to search around for good or bad information. I'm gonna give you the key of where you should start if you want to get into project management, the knowledge you should prioritize, and how to get ready to become a project manager in the simplest way possible. Before we start looking at the knowledge and skills we need to become a project manager and all of those good things there, we need to be really clear on exactly what we are managing. So let's quickly look at Google for a simple definition of what a project is. A project is a series of tasks that need to be completed to reach a specific outcome. So you're probably looking at that definition, and in your mind you can probably argue that informally we're all kind of project managers. We all kind of probably project manage on a day-to-day basis, putting tasks together, planning it out, and making sure that at the end we have a desired outcome. However, there's also formal ways of project management that is recognized more in the corporate setting, and I think that's where a lot of people, when they're first starting out, they have those soft skills, or they can demonstrate some of them at least. But in terms of the knowledge, in terms of the theory, the application of that, that's where they're fully missing out, and in an interview kind of situation, they're unable to shine as much as they probably could. So with that in mind, it's definitely important that you focus on both the soft skills and also the knowledge side aspects of project management, about 50% of each, to combine together to be a really strong project manager. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing the Google Project Management certification by Coursera, and also working through how I believe the course offers a perfect balance between those soft skills required by project management and also the theory and the knowledge with application that you need to get that job. Something that really stood out for me on this course is that it sets a really good picture of what life could potentially look like for you after completing the certification. It really helps you explore the type of roles that you can expect to get after completing the course, and also where to go and look for them and how to get them as well. Once you've finished learning and you've built up your confidence in something, you want to be able to hit the ground running and go after those opportunities. So really this is a win-win. It gives you the knowledge you need to be able to apply for those roles, but also directs you and guides you to where those roles can possibly be. All right then, so where do you start? Now, when you first start learning about project management, you might be tempted to just go straight into the deep end and start learning about budgets and scheduling and all of these good things without actually fully understanding, as a project manager, as a PM professional, what are you there to do? I think that is really key to understand, first of all, your key roles and your responsibilities, so that when you do get into this role, you're not doing more than you necessarily need to do. And I can say from experience, when I started off as a graduate, as a PM, you just think that you're a go-getter, you just go out and do everything. I took it upon myself to do a lot of roles that didn't even sit within me, and I found out that I soon got burnt out and I was far stretched, and really for no reason, because I shouldn't have been doing those things. At the beginning of this course, it does a really good job at setting the foundation of exactly what project managers do, what a day in the life looks like, what the responsibilities are, who does other things in other departments around the firm, and how you integrate with other stakeholders. All right, so once you know what a project manager does, I think it's next really key to understand what skills are required to be a project manager. As I said before, about 50% of the role is using those soft soft skills required for delivery. And then the other 50% is about applying knowledge and principles and all those other good things. So focusing on the soft skill side, within the course, it really does break down what key skills you need to become a project manager, and more so helping you understand if you do currently have those skills. Guys, imposter syndrome is so real. And when you're put into those PM roles or you go into those interviews, sometimes you might feel like, oh, I should be better in a certain area or not a certain area. I think if you're able to identify your weaknesses nice and early, you're able to work on them and build up your confidence so you're able to hit the ground running when you're given the opportunity to do so. Being a good communicator is a key skill needed within project management, but how do you practically show this? They go into that detail, which is really good. Now, Google got really creative with this course as well. There's a particular part of the course which talks about influencing teams without authority. Remember, as a project manager, you do not manage the people, in the sense that you are managing the project, but the people working on the project, the people that you rely so heavily to deliver, they are not technically under your control. So you need to be able to work with people and get them on board, motivate them. Easier said than done, always. If you can get your head around that from an early stage, you will definitely differentiate yourself from the rest of the competition out there. So once you've got the soft skills down, I think next you need to get straight into the nitty-gritty, that knowledge, and that is where people don't know necessarily where to start. If it were me, I would definitely start by getting versed in the two main project management approaches, the two most popular ones, and that's Waterfall and Agile. These two approaches and methodologies just simply define how projects can be delivered in different scenarios. Where a lot of people get anxious is knowing when to use Agile methodology and when to use a more Waterfall methodology. Where is it appropriate in what industries? How does this planning change depending on which methodology we're using? How does costings change? How does scoping change? And this course does a great job in breaking that down, helping you identify when it's more appropriate to use one methodology over another, and ultimately the main differences between both of them. I think having a good understanding of both of them, especially as a beginning, is key, because you might get your foot into project management and at a particular time they're delivering in Waterfall kind of a methodology, but they want to make a transition over to Agile and it's a bit like, I don't know where that is. Being able to show your potential employer that you have a good understanding of both lets them know that they can put you on a variety of projects and you're not just limited to one type of project. So after that then, and I by far think that this is going to be the most important thing. If you don't learn anything about project management, you're going to learn this, and it is called the project life cycle. Irrespective of what industry you're in or what methodology you're using to deliver, either Agile or Waterfall, the project lifecycle is at the foundation of all project delivery, and it is used across all projects in one way or variation. If you're not familiar with the project lifecycle, there are effectively 4 phases in the cycle: initiation, planning, execution, and closure. Guys, do not just brush over the project lifecycle by just creating an acronym to remember what the 4 phases are for an interview. Having a really good grounded understanding of what happens in each stage of the project lifecycle will make delivery so much easier. You'll be able to know what tasks need to be done, what documents need to be brought in where, what relevance they have, and also when you need to communicate with different stakeholders and how frequently. Also, having a great understanding helps you understand the why. Like, why does this need to happen? And the more you understand the why, the easier delivery will be. What I really like about Google is that they also understand the absolute importance of the project lifecycle, and that's why 3 out of the 6 courses within the certificate focus just on that. All right, now let's talk about documentations and tools, because once we have the foundation right, documentations and tools are so important in able to demonstrate that we are making progress on the project, tracking our progress, but also making sure that everyone's aligned in what we're here to do. Now, since the project lifecycle is literally the foundation of a project, I think that for better learning, it's really important to understand what tools, what documents, what skills are required in each phase of the project. And that is exactly how Google have broken it up. Instead of just listing out a bunch of tools that are needed within project management, they break it down within each phase of the project lifecycle to know which documents, which tools are are needed within those different phases, and also how they can be applied. In the initiation phase, where you do need a project charter as one of the key documents there, they teach you how to make that, and you can practically make that inside the course as well. So you have something practical that you can put together and you can demonstrate to a potential employer that you know how to do this. Once again, when it comes to tools, there's so many different tools and software that you can use in project management, all with their different purposes. Performance tools, tracking tools, planning tools, they're all useful, but which one should you use? Now the course goes into different types of tools that you can use, the more popular ones, and you're able to play around with the likes of Smart Sheets and Asana. It gives you a good understanding of those main tools and when they're used. So it gives you exposure to some of the key tools that you may be using in your next project management role when you do secure it. Now, one area that we don't talk about enough, and we 100% should be talking about more in project management, is change management and how it affects projects. Ineffective change management can really be the downfall of your project, especially where there's stuff like scope creep that comes in. There's a heavy emphasis on change management and its effects on projects, how you can identify change, how you can monitor change, and how you can manage it. So you have a good understanding of the project lifecycle, the tools, the documentations, change management if you really want to put yourself just that little bit ahead of the competition, but also risk management. That is a really good one to get your head around at the beginning. Risk management is so important, and understanding risk because it is seen throughout the project life cycle, all the way from the initiation. We see it in the initiation phase when we want to even realize, is this project even worth doing, or is it too risky? Also in the planning stage, where we begin to identify all the risks that we are faced with on the project. In the execution phase, when we actively manage the risks, and then through to closure, when we're passing the project onto business as usual and letting them know what outstanding risks there are. So risk management is at the heart of project management, and in this course there is once again a heavy emphasis on that. So what can you expect in terms of salary as a project manager, and is it really even a good career path to go down? So I'm just going to quickly look down at my laptop over here at read.com. Probably not the best website to get my statistics from, but I think it will give a holistic view of what project managers are earning. Now I do want to caveat by saying this will be highly dependent on the industry, how much level of experience you have, etc., and definitely your location. So this is just going to be based on the UK, and generally I've noticed for the US you can just double everything. So over here we can see that the average project management salary in the UK is roughly £61,000, and that does not necessarily include full compensation. Overall, I do think this is a really good career path to go down, because one, you're fairly well compensated, especially when you look at the opportunities that you can get through contracting, which will be a per day rate. But not only that, if I look back at my career and my career path, I've progressed quite quickly in the last 5 years to senior project manager, starting literally with no experience out of university. There's also so much more you can do. You can go into program management, you can go into director status, or you can just stay as a project manager, become an expert in your field, and demand those higher prices as well. So there's so much opportunity, the world is your oyster really. By the end of the course, you'll be in a really good position to demonstrate that you can apply the knowledge that you've learned. I do think that's the distinction of people that are able to pivot into project management quite quickly and others that struggle. Anyone can read and pass, but do you actually understand in a practical setting, even if you haven't done it yourself, how it would work? And can you speak to it? In my experience, at the end of the day, when you are trying to learn something new, especially project management, and you don't know where to start, and there's so many tools, so many documentation, so many methodologies, and you're just ultimately overwhelmed, people just get bogged down in the detail. I really just want to encourage everyone to just say, take that leap, just start learning, start with the fundamentals, and everything else you'll just see it will just slot into place. With this course, you can learn at your own pace, so you don't need to feel overwhelmed, and there are a ton of quizzes and tests throughout each of the modules so that you can know that you are making progress and you truly do understand before moving forward. I have linked the Google Project Management certificate link below, so make sure you go and check that out and also take advantage of the 7-day trial. Alright guys, so that's it for this video. I hope you did find it useful, and I hope you do now see a structured path of learning project management that will not make you nervous. Let me know what you think of this, guys. I would love to hear from you as always, and until next time, take care.